this, for those of you who follow sports, you're a sports fan, this, I think, is big news. Fox, ESPN, and Warner Brothers Discovery said yesterday they will launch a sports streaming service later this year, and they want to capture, in particular, younger viewers who are not watching television. Increasingly, a lot of people are not watching television, and I don't know, just times have changed. And so we got a lot of sports fans out there. I think you see that with the Super Bowl gambling records just skyrocketing. In fact, volume of betting is projected to be 35% higher this year than last year. And last year set a record. So folks are very interested in sports, interested in gambling on it as well. But this joint venture, I'm curious as to your interest. And we talk about sports. And I've thought for a while now that we are getting to a point where folks are going to pay to watch the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl, folks like me I grew up, and the Super Bowl was just always on broadcast television. Times have obviously changed with the way that many of us consume media now. And a lot of us are not watching broadcast television, younger viewers in particular. They maybe have never even television. So would you be willing to pay for these high-profile sports events? I would love to hear from you this morning. 605-336-1320 is the Kello hotline. 605-336-1320. Because this is a big effort. You've got Fox, ESPN, and Warner Brothers Discovery saying that they'll launch this sports streaming service, and 3 companies, and each of them taking a third then of the profits from this joint venture, and it would broadcast then professional and collegiate sports. So you're talking about things like the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, the FIFA World Cup, college competitions, all would be a part of that. I know there are a lot of people who are fans of collegiate sports. And this might be one of those ways that, you would you'd have access to it. And media analysts say that this could appeal to about 40 million households in the U.S. that pay for high-speed internet access but don't subscribe to pay TV. Well, that's me. That's me. You got to think that will be then a number of others. So I would love to hear from you. 605-336-1320 is the Kello hotline. 605-336-1320. Good morning, Dale. You're on, Kello.
Good morning. So I'm a Big Ten football fanatic, particularly Michigan Wolverines. And the only way that I could get the opening game this year was to subscribe to Peacock. And there was several games in the Big Ten. I believe there was even a Nebraska game and an Iowa game that the only way you could get it was to get Peacock.
Yep. NBC. Yep.
So I thought I would just get it for the one game and then dump it. And for the life of me, I can't figure out how to unsubscribe from it. So it's I think they're taking like $5-something a month out of my, or charging my credit card $5.99 a month. I cannot. And the only way I can do it is to get the credit card to block the payment, and they don't want to do that. Anyway, it's a nightmare.
Well, and it can be confusing. I would agree, having subscribed and canceled a number of services, it can be difficult. Try to put your search engine to good use and see if you can't. Somebody might be able to, get you some information as to how you can cancel that.
Yeah, I'm not much of a computer guy, but I gotta work on that. But it seems to be the trend. I don't think there's much you can do about it. It's all heading in that direction.
Paying for sports, and I said this the other day. I think we will get to a point where, probably sooner rather than later, where for those who will be watching the Super Bowl this weekend, I won't be, but many millions will be. You're going to have to pay to watch the big game. And I think that's just the way things are going. So how did you feel about having to pay to be able to see some of these sports contests you wanted to watch?
Well, I wouldn't pay to watch the Super Bowl, but...
no, me either.
I don't know. I suppose something might come along that I'd be willing to pay for, but... I think eventually they're just going to end up losing the following, their fan base, making it so difficult and financially gouging them so bad they'll end up losing them.
Well, I appreciate your call. Thanks, Dale. 605-336-1320. I don't know. What you are seeing here, grasp the significance of this. Fox Corporation, ESPN, which is owned by Disney, and Warner Brothers Discovery they're all coming together. So rather than you going and getting this then from Fox, getting it from ESPN, you've got them working together to provide all of that content then to people who like it or want it. That seems pretty significant to me. I've got to believe that there will be a lot of people who will take, and again, you're talking about college competitions. You're talking about the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball. So I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Phone lines are open this morning. Join the program. 605-336-1320 is the golden number, baby. 605-336-1320 if you want to join the program. Good morning, Rick. You're on Kello.
Greg, good morning. I got 2 words for you. Subscription overload. I think it's crazy. I just sitting here listening this morning and even going back a few weeks when they had the one game, football game, NFL game that was on Peacock. You couldn't watch it. You couldn't watch it on normal TV. You couldn't get it over the air. You had to pay for Peacock. I just thought that was such a monopoly on football that's been free for years, for decades. And all of a sudden now they want.
Yeah, but those times have changed. I think you and I have got to let that go. That's not the business model today. Broadcast television is about all but dead.
Yeah, but you think about it, Greg. You got to have, if you want to watch this program, you got to have this channel to subscribe to. If you want to watch this program, you got to subscribe to this channel. If you want to watch this, and I think it all started back with boxing.
Yeah, but isn't the reality of that some of us have just got to say, I guess I'm not going to watch that show. You know what I mean?
That's about where I'm at now. I mean, it's if you have to subscribe to 20 different services at X number of dollars a month, and I pay.
Yeah, but are you hearing what I'm saying? You got Fox, Walt Disney's ESPN, Warner Brothers Discovery saying we are working together to provide that to all of our viewers so that we'll bring all of these events together. So with this service, they haven't named the service yet, but you won't have to go get 20 different services to see the things you want to see.
Well, on the sports, you'll have to have that subscription, and then you have to watch, if you want to watch something on Prime, something on Netflix. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, everything's going to be pay-per-view. Where does it stop? So I think my overall...
Now the market will get saturated. The market will get saturated, and they'll find their way.
I don't know. I think I'm going to be one of the ones kicking and screaming and going, no. When they start monopolizing the NFL that was free for years, I just think a lot of people aren't going to pay for it. I'm going to be probably one of them that's going to say, you know what, heck with you, NFL, I'm done. I am not going to start doing a pay-per-view to watch NFL games. And, NFL
yeah, but what about collegiate sports? I mean, there are a lot of people who watch collegiate sports. Are there people who say, I don't like sports well enough to pay for it? Yeah, I absolutely agree. I would be one of those people, but I'm not a sports fan. There are other people that are. We got people that are the betting on the Super Bowl this year is 35% higher than it was last year, and last year set a record. Yeah. So people are incredibly intense in their love of sports.
I just don't think I can be one of those. I really don't. I mean, I like
that's fair.
College football games. I just don't think I could be one of them and start paying for all these different subscriptions, but we'll see. We'll test the waters and see, though. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like it the way it's always been. The networks pay for it, and then they make their money by the commercial, by the advertisers, that they have. I think, because then what's going to happen?
Because now they're going to get their money from the advertisers and from you and me.
Exactly. Yeah. Double dipping, I call it.
Thanks for your call, buddy.
Thanks, Greg.
Good to talk to you. Phone lines are open. 605-336-1320 is the Kello hotline. 605-336-1320. What about you? Would you again, I mean, I think this, if I were a sports fan, I would be excited about this. Again, when you got Fox and ESPN, which is owned by Disney, Warner Brothers Discovery, all teaming up and saying, we're going to provide all of this. And Disney CEO Bob Iger said, this means the full suite of ESPN channels will be available to consumers alongside the sports programming of other leaders, he said. So then Fox is part of that. Fox, the same thing. Fox News, as you know, who was, carried the Super Bowl, previously, has a real focus on sports. So Disney is really behind this, pretty excited about it. And it will be a service that focuses specifically on sports over a Warner Brothers Discovery. Their CEO said, this new sports service exemplifies our ability as an industry to drive innovation and provide consumers with more choice, enjoyment, and value. So I'm just curious if you will bite. And some of you were saying, no, I appreciate that. I'm just curious. Again, I'm not a big sports fan, so for me, the answer is no, because I'm just not that. I never have been a sports fan. But I know that a lot of people are, and they're passionate about it. And we talked about that even as we were talking about the Super Bowl, which is coming up, of course, this weekend. And I believe that we'll get to a point where you're going to be paying. If you want to watch the Super Bowl, you'll be paying for it. If you want to watch, NBA championship games, so on, you'll wind up paying for it. I believe and I'm not saying that I think that's great. I'm very much like Rick. I understand where Rick was coming from. I grew up in an era where, this, broadcast TV and this stuff was always on broadcast TV. And when I was young, I thought, believe me, I thought it was on TV way too much. I would have rather been watching other stuff, as a young guy. But that stuff was always free. But we got a lot of Americans are way over that hurdle. For those of us who are older, yeah, I've gotten used to streaming services, and I really, I don't pay for a lot. I pay for Friendly TV, and which is got a lot of classic television on it, which I really, really enjoy. And I watch a lot of that. So I'm not watching new programs nearly as much as I'm watching stuff that was produced back in even before my time, going back into the 50s and some of that stuff. For me, it's new. I know of the shows, and discovering some of those programs, I have really enjoyed. Some of the old television westerns like Half Gun Will Travel, have become favorites of mine. Pat Boone was terrific on that. But then I just have gotten used to the idea that if I want to see the shows that I want to see, I'm going to have to pay for them. So I pay for Friendly TV, and I have occasionally paid for Hulu TV, and I've been on and off of that. And there are other services I've been on and off of. One that I really am considering and want to subscribe to is Apple TV. They're doing a number of things there that just appeal to me. That I'm excited about watching some of these shows. So Apple TV is one I plan on picking up. But again, I don't pick up, I'm not subscribing to, 6 or 8 services. I subscribe generally to 2, and at most 3. Right now, I'm only subscribed to 1. So I think you have to be careful because, yeah, the monthly, you sign up for this one, and it's only this much a month, and you sign up for this one, and this one, and you wind up paying more than you ever would have paid for cable television. Totally get it. You do have to be mindful. You got to be careful, and you've got to become a smart consumer. That's really what's happened. Is that you and I have to be more intelligent consumers than we had to previously. Because you've got to know how much are we paying for and how much do we actually watch this? Okay, that was the point I reached with cable television several years ago when I finally wound up cutting the cord, and I said, how much of this stuff am I actually watching? Yeah, cable television provided a number of channels. But how much of it did I actually watch? Well, it turned out not much. Not much. And so I cut the cord, and I got to say, I was glad that I did it. So it really isn't for those of us who are older like me, it requires us to be intelligent consumers. What do you watch? What are you willing to pay for? Because there are things I'm like, okay, yeah, I will pay to see this. And there are other things that I say, well, hell no, I'm not going to pay for that. You know what I mean? There are a lot of stuff because there's still trash that's being produced. There's great material out there. But there is a lot of garbage that gets produced, too. So you really have to be kind of an intelligent consumer, and say, be smart with your money, and rather than just sign up for a recurring service and a monthly fee that boom, 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 boom. Because, yeah, you could wind up paying for a lot of material that, again, you just don't watch, you didn't want. And then it's no different from the days of cable TV. And I think some of this will sort itself out. And I think that's what we're seeing with Fox and ESPN and Discovery saying they are all teaming together. So you're starting to see the networks then collaborating, sharing the profit amongst them to be able to bring those services so that you don't have to go out and get a service from Fox and a service from, Disney and Warner Brothers. And, instead you get one service, those three entities working together to bring it all to you. See, I think we're already starting to see media companies trying to, and I think eventually then the costs will readjust because, as Rick was saying, it can get expensive if you're not careful.